Hello and welcome back to Curb Stomp City. And episode 2 of Style Amsterdam on TEW 2016, and today I'm bringing you two events, Style 2 and Style 3. And there's been a slight change of plan because the card that was supposed to be for Style 2 is now the card for Style 3, and the card that was supposed to be Style 3 is now Style 2. So yeah, basically I had to just swap them over because Cash has picked up an injury. He should be back in, I think it's 9 days. However, Charlie Morgan also picked up an injury and she won't be able to make the tournament at all. She's out for quite a lot of time. She will be replaced, but Cash can make next month's show. So yeah, I've just swapped them over. So that's how I've dealt with that. And by the end of this episode, we will have the title matches confirmed for Style 4. And that will be in the next episode. So if you're excited for that and you want that as soon as possible, make sure you hit the like button. But yeah, let's get straight into the first show of the episode. And we start with a tale of the tape for our opening contest between Bobby Guns and Tenqua. Bobby Guns aged 25, Tenqua with a lot more experience aged 32. And Tenqua, the hometown boy from Amsterdam, and Bobby Guns coming in from Thuringen in Germany. Similar heights, Bobby Guns with a slight weight advantage. He is currently the WXW shotgun champion, Bobby Guns is. And Tenqua is a former PWH, which is Pro Wrestling Holland Heavyweight Championship, and he won that twice. He's also a former FCW Europe Lightweight Champion and a former NBW Junior Heavyweight Champion. So he's got more experience winning championships, and that should give him somewhat of an edge in this first contest. And we start with a 17F plus for this segment, and not too bad. And the show starts with the hometown wrestler Tenqua's music. He is pumped up and ready to go, and he excitingly enters the arena, pacing along the barricades, greeting the fans, and he rolls into the ring and is ready for action. Then Bobby Guns' music hits, and with Tenqua watching the entranceway waiting for his opponent, suddenly, out of nowhere, Guns runs up behind him and starts to attack. And Guns constantly tries to unmask Tenqua, but to no avail, and Tenqua manages to fight back before the two are separated by multiple officials. And then they are both dragged to their corners, ready for the match to begin. So we've got an action-packed start, Bobby Guns trying to gain an advantage before the match begins, and this got a 28E. The gimmicks haven't gone down well, but we're not getting rated on that because the product doesn't require gimmicks, which is good. But the angle got the crowd hotter, and this got a 28E, so that's actually a good segment. But no improvements to note. And then we go into the match itself, and Bobby Guns defeats Tenqua in 10 minutes 27 by countout. So not quite a definitive victory, but a victory nonetheless, and he will go into the junior heavyweight triple threat match for the title. And Tenqua and Bobby Guns have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. Tenqua with a 23, Bobby Guns with a 19, but the reigning WXW shotgun champion has won the match after the attack before the match began, and that's obviously given him the advantage, and he's defeated Tenqua. So yeah, 73E minus for the match. And then we go to the tail of the tape for our second contest, and it's going to be Toni Storm taking on Layla Rose in the women's division. And Toni Storm is only young, she's only 22. Layla Rose aged 26. Toni Storm from Auckland, New Zealand. Layla Rose from Berlin, Germany. And Layla definitely has the size advantage coming in at 5'9", 165 pounds compared to Toni Storm's 5'5" and 143 pounds. So Toni's going to have quite a task ahead of her if she's going to be able to topple Layla Rose in this one. Toni Storm with a lot of accolades to her name. She's a WWE Mae Young Classic semi-finalist. She was actually beaten by the winner of the tournament, Kairi Sane. She's the current Progress Women's Champion, former World of Stardom Champion, former PWQ Underground Champion, former AAW Women's Champion, former PWAQ Women's Champion twice as well. And Layla Rose comes in with no titles, but she got to the semi-final of the inaugural ICW Women's Championship tournament. Yeah, it's going to be tough to decide the favourite in this one. Toni Storm probably is with all them achievements, but the size advantage for Layla Rose will definitely go into her favour as well. And this got a 17F+. And then we go into the match itself, and in about that had decent reaction, subpar wrestling. Toni Storm defeats Layla Rose in 17 minutes 47 by pinfall with an air raid crash. And again, the gimmick's not doing great. That doesn't really matter. Layla Rose was off her game tonight, and the bout dragged in the middle with a lack of flow being noticeable. I made it quite long with a slow build, but obviously that hasn't worked. Toni Storm had an in-ring performance of 23, Layla Rose with a 21. And both women are improving in performance skills after this match as well. So yeah, 18 E-, not too bad. And then we go to the final tale of the tape for the final match of the evening. And this one is for the heavyweight division. And it's going to be Pascal Spalter against the veteran amateur wrestler from Japan, Maybach Taniguchi. Taniguchi has far more experience in terms of years in the business, age 41, with Pascal Spalter only 27. Spalter coming in from Berlin, so he's our third German competitor of the night, I think. And yeah, Maybach coming in from Karayoshi, Japan. Spalter with the size advantage, 6'3", 310 pounds, and Taniguchi with 6 foot, 231 pounds. But I would think that Taniguchi's amateur background will give him the edge tonight. Plenty of championships between the two. I'll name a few. We've got the current SWE champion in Pascal Spalter, former German Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion 3 times. So he's got experience winning heavyweight championship belts. However, Taniguchi hasn't really done anything in a singles capacity. He has won the GHC Tag Team Champions 4 times, and he also won the Pro Wrestling Noah Global Tag League in 2017. And he's also won some other tournaments that you can see there as well. But it's going to be a close bout, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do in tonight's main event. And in this case, Taniguchi has defeated Pascal Spalter in 12 minutes 16 with a knee trembler. And Pascal Spalter was visibly tiring towards the end, and that's quite disappointing. It was only a 12-minute match. Taniguchi with a 26, Pascal with a 25, and 28 E overall. And this increased our popularity in one region. The main event was the best match of the night. The best segment was the opening brawl between Bobby Guns and Tenqua. The worst segment of the night was the Pascal Spalter Taniguchi tale of the tape. And the worst match, unfortunately, was the women's match between Toni Storm and Layla Rose. And I'm just going to encourage the winners. So we've got Toni and Taniguchi and also Bobby Guns. And we'll make that speech now, and everyone seems to be pleased, hopefully. Yeah. I've just double checked, and it's actually Cash that can't make the next show and Charlie Morgan can. So we're going to have to replace Cash instead, and he's actually injured for a year, so we're going to have to release him, I think. But in his place, we're going to bring in Vincent Childs. And this is actually Bobby Gunn's brother. So this could be quite good for storyline purposes. Also boost both of their morales with them working together in the company. So we're going to give him a 5-year contract. No travel. I'm going to offer him the lowest I can initially. He wants 260, so we'll give him that. And yeah, we're going to probably name him Vince Guns or something like that. We're going to take Bobby Guns' kayfabe name and give it to his brother as well. And yeah, so let's look at Cash. Yeah, broken cranium, so that's not good. Let's just see who injured him. Maybe we could bring them in at some point. Michael Kovac. So I'll shortlist him in a minute. But yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to release Cash or Crash Cash or Cash Crash, whichever one it is. So yeah, he's just signed now, and I just want to look at the finances for the last few months. So in the first month, we didn't have any shows, which is why we made a profit from sponsors and merchandise, pretty much. We had some expenditure, but overall we made quite a bit of money. And that took us from $0 to $2,600. And then we made just about profit with $360 the second month. Worker costs were $2,300 compared to March, which were $1,800. So because of that, we actually made more money. And we got more sponsorship in the third month as well. I'm not sure what miscellaneous is, but we got less of that this month. Show costs are the same. Everything else, marketing's the same. Merchandise slightly more this month for expenditure. But yeah, this month we pretty much made more money than last month in pretty much every area. But I know what's going to take a chunk of the money is holding 3 triple threats, because that's 9 workers. So it will be interesting to see what happens next month with our money. But yeah, that's just a brief overview of what's happening with that. So we start the show with a tale of the tape for tonight's opening match, which will be the final women's division qualifier. And it will see Macon take on Charlie Morgan, both similar ages, 28 and 27 respectively. Macon coming in from Fredrikstad in Norway, and Charlie Morgan coming from Cambridge, England. Both had the same height and similar weights, with Macon a former NWF Tag Team Championship Tournament semi-finalist in 2015. And Charlie Morgan trained by the infamous Knight family, who of course Paige from WWE is part of, and the brothers Roy and Zach, and of course the dad being Roy Knight and the mum being Soraya Knight. So yeah, she's been trained by one of the most famous families in British wrestling, and maybe they've taught her enough to get a victory today against the martial art expert Macon. And this has got a 2F- in rating. Nearly the worst possible rating you could ever get on the game. Great start there. And then in the match itself, Macon defeats Charlie Morgan in 17 minutes 45 by submission with a knee bar. And remember, Charlie Morgan has just recovered from a torn MCL, which is a ligament in the knee. And Macon has taken advantage of that and managed to get the submission victory. And Charlie Morgan was visibly tiring towards the end. The match got the crowd hotter. 14 from Macon, 17 from Charlie Morgan, 17 F+ overall. And Macon is improving in performance skills. And then we go to the next tale of the tape, and our second match of the night will be a heavyweight division match between Wolfgang and Harley Rage. Wolfgang is age 31, Harley Rage 5 years younger at 26. Wolfgang from Glasgow, Scotland, is a former ICW World Heavyweight Champion and is ICW 0G Champion. So that shows the diversity in Wolfgang's game. Not only is he a heavyweight, he's also well versed in high flying, with his finisher actually being a swanton bomb, which he calls the Howling. And he's also a former NWA Scottish Heavyweight Champion twice. So plenty of accolades in Wolfgang's locker. And Harley Rage is just as successful in his homeland of Sweden, winning the SWS Swedish Heavyweight Championship before, and is also a former Maximum Champion. With Harley Rage coming in with the weight advantage in this one, it's going to be a close contest, and this got a 6F for the tail of the tape. Not brilliant at all, so let's just move on. Then Harley Rage's music hits as he runs to the ring and looks angry. He pulls every turnbuckle pad off of the corners of the ring and begins to smash his head off the exposed metal. So he's a bit mental and he's coming out raging to suit his name, and he's smashing his head off the exposed turnbuckle in the corners of the ring. So yeah, he's psyching himself up for the match, and he's doing it in a very strange way, and this got a 3F-, so not a great segment again, but a decent match, 22E-, when Harley Rage defeats Wolfgang after 10 minutes 44 with a choke slam. And Matt Riddle was actually the road agent today, and apparently he could have done better, so I'm not going to have him as a road agent again. I've been trying to have wrestlers as road agents and wrestlers that are on the show, so I don't have to pay the extra wage. And yeah, Matt Riddle was this match's road agent, and he hasn't done very well. Wolfgang seemed off his game and was tiring towards the end. Again, disappointing because it's only a 10-minute match. So he needs to improve his stamina going forward. But 21 for Wolfgang, 17 for Harley Rage. But the younger of the two goes through to the triple threat heavyweight title match. And I did this just because we needed a heel in there. There's two faces, and Harley Rage will be the heel to make sure that we don't get any penalties towards the ratings in the next show. So that was the thinking behind that. And Harley Rage is improving in Rumble skills. And then we go to the next tale of the tape, and it will be former UFC competitor Matt Riddle taking on the late entry into the competition, Vinnie Guns. And Matt Riddle, aged 31, with plenty of experience in both MMA and professional wrestling, will make him the favourite in this bout. He's a former Progress Atlas champion 2 times, and he's also won the WXW Ambition tournament in 2017 and is the current PWG Tag Team Champion as well. And coming in from Las Vegas, Nevada. And then we've got Vinnie Guns, not really much experience on his side. Only 22 years old, and he's only won 1 championship. And that was a Tag Team Championship in COW, or COW as it's known. And he's got the weight advantage, but you would think that Matt Riddle would be the favourite in this, considering his MMA background as well. And a former UFC competitor, no less. And this got an 8F. And before the match, Matt Riddle makes his way to the ring. And then Vinnie Guns' music hits. But he doesn't seem to be showing up when suddenly he appears behind Riddle. And it looks like he's trying to apply the same tactic as his brother. And if you remember, in the last show, Bobby Guns attacked his opponent before the match could begin, which gave him the advantage. And he eventually picked up the win. But this time, Matt Riddle manages to out-wrestle Guns and locks him in the bro mission. And then Riddle eventually lets go as our main event is set to get underway. So it's backfired for Vinnie Guns and is actually going into the match injured now after Matt Riddle out-wrestled him and managed to lock him into a submission. And 19E- for this segment. And then we go into the match itself, and in an extremely short match, Matt Riddle defeats Vinnie Guns in 4 minutes 22 by submission with the bro mission. So he's managed to get the victory. Surprisingly, Riddle's only got an 18 in this match, and Vinnie Guns got a 23. So I was expecting more from Matt Riddle, to be fair. But yeah, decent match rating, definitely good enough for what we need. And apparently Charlie Morgan was used too much on the show. She did have a Tale of the Tape segment for 2 minutes and a match that lasted, I think it was 18 minutes. So you can see why that's come up there, but that's fine. We've still got an 18E- overall. And again, we're going to encourage the winners.
We all share the same fate.
So we've got Matt Riddle, Harley Rage, and Macon, and they should be pleased with that, and that should give them a morale boost, and it does. And before we end the episode, I just want to look at the top 100 section just so I can see who will be main eventing Strong Style 4. So whichever division has had the best matches overall will get the main event slot in the next event, where it'll be the 3 triple threat title matches. So the last show we just had is our worst show yet, actually, 18E-. That was probably affected by using Charlie Morgan too much. So it probably would have been in the 20s had that not occurred. In terms of matches, Taniguchi versus Pascal Spouter is our best match ever with a 28E. And Jørn Simmons defeating Peter Bojet at Strong Style 1 is in second. So it looks like the heavyweights probably will be the main event. Then we've got Bobby Guns and Tenqua with the same rating as Killer Kelly versus Shayla Sky. Jamie Alto and Tyler Bate got a 22. Harley Rage and Wolfgang with a 20. Matt Riddle and Vinnie Guns with a 20. And the worst match so far is the women's match between Macon and Charlie Morgan. So I'm not really sure what order I'm going to go with. What I'm going to do is go back through the footage and look at the individual performances of the finalists and then work it out that way, I think. So you'll know by the next episode anyway, and I'll update you when we get there. So it's going to be in the next show, the heavyweight title match between Jørn Simmons, Taniguchi and Harley Rage. There's going to be the junior heavyweight title match between Bobby Guns Jamie Ulto and Matt Riddle. And finally, we're going to have the Women's Championship match between Killer Kelly, Tony Storm and Macon. So if you're excited for that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more TEW 2016 content. And until next time, peace.